And good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Bro-migo podcast. I am Garrett. This is Robert, the Brick Wall Peoples. We are talking about everyday fitness advice for anybody that could need it. We appreciate you joining us on this journey. Big Rob, how you doing this morning?
I am tired, my friend. I am
No,
very
you can't be saying that every time, man. Why are you so tired?
I'm always tired. It's just my natural state, but it kicks in throughout the day. Sleep apnea has a little bit to play with that, but I'm getting better actually. I'm not as tired. Like when I say usually I'm tired and I look like death, but but I feel a lot less tired than I usually have.
You said you got your CPAP a few days this week. How did that affect you?
So I was still a little run down. I was still groggy. I was still, excuse my language, but dragging ass while I was trying to do my job. But um, it wasn't as bad as before when I had a lot of the weight on me. Because
Mm-hmm.
before, if I missed it, it I needed, I
Just buried you.
oh oof, I needed a mule to kick me just to get going. But now it's
Yeah.
not as bad. Like I can halfway
Yeah,
function.
my dad has sleep apnea, and his CPAP, he has had that for years now, and he does. It's a significantly better difference when he has his CPAP, but it's not like necessary because of weight wise. So my dad, from my love you dad, he is. I think he's lost weight. He's maybe 220 now. He's about 6'1". He's about 220 pounds, but he doesn't carry a lot of his weight in his like upper shoulders and areas. Like his arms and like chest area isn't where he carries his weight. He carries his weight just in his midsection. So his sleep apnea is not like from pressure on his lungs, where that is for a lot of people who are bigger guys. Like strongmen and powerlifters always all have sleep apnea, and it's because of the weight. My dad's tongue is too thick. And so it's like it literally like blocks his airflow.
Yeah.
So that airflow like helps keep it open. And so like he can sleep without it, but yeah, it's definitely better when I've never slept with one. What does it feel like?
So initially, it will scare the crap out of you because you've got. Well, here, hold on. So, little learning moment. So with mine, my mask is the nose pillow, so it strictly goes through my nose. Um, the first time I wore it, when I woke up, it scared the crap out of me because the air is shooting through, and I woke up, didn't realize I had it on, went to open my mouth to yawn, and then I
And air
burst.
started coming out of your mouth.
I was like, "What the hell?" Oh, it'll shock you.
That's funny.
But
Yeah, you do look like Darth Vader in his back to tank
yeah.
with the thing coming out of his nose.
Oh
If
yeah.
y'all didn't know, guys, I'm 100% a nerd and unashamed to be so. So
Yeah,
rock
me,
on.
I am not in the least a nerd at all.
Yeah.
We won't talk about the anime convention I'm going
The-
to next month.
you already talked
Mm,
about it.
this month, actually.
It's April 1st today. Good morning, April. Golly, I didn't realize that.
Happy April Fool's
I don't do
Day.
April Fools. See, I don't typically do April Fools. I don't, because I always forget.
The
It's my
best.
aunt's birthday today, so I need
Well,
to wish my
happy
aunt
birthday. No,
Christy.
you're fine.
Hey,
Uh,
hey, Aunt Christy, happy birthday! I love you.
the best April Fool's joke I think that we ever had, or that I've seen, in my family. So I grew up on a 36-acre farm, and what was it? In our back pasture, the neighboring land, a trailer had caught on fire, and it was close to ours. And it was like 2 days before April Fool's. My brother comes running in, wakes my mama up, and it's like, "Mama, Mama, the pasture's on fire! The pasture's on fire! What? Back by Trey Lane, the pasture's on fire!" She jumps up, she puts clothes on, she's running out the door, trying to get the phone to call my grandpa. And before she gets the phone in, my brother goes, "April Fool's." I ain't never seen somebody get a butt whooping like he did.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
It was
That's
funny.
pretty rough.
I sat there and laughed.
Oh man. So tell me about your week, man. So tell me about, do you have any good successes as far as your fitness and nutrition or anything? Do you have any successes or failures that you faced this week?
So I wasn't able to bring them lunch as much as I wanted to from
How
the
come?
fact that so I have a bad habit of forgetting my lunchbox in the car
Hmm.
at the end of the day because we and you we usually talk on the way home from work, and you can hear it in my voice. I'm dragging to get out of that car. So I
Yeah.
forget it, but I'm working on that. It was like 2 days I forgot my lunchbox. Um, Working out, I kind of dropped the ball in the sense of going to the gym. I went Monday and I got some good lifting in. My buddy Wes supposed to be on today, but something happened. Uh
Yeah, your computer died last night.
yes, my computer died and it took longer than usual. But Wes, we hope to see you next week, brother. Um we went lifting. Wes set a new PR of 200 on bench press, which I am very proud of him.
Attaboy.
But I only got to go to the gym one day this week. But the beautiful thing is, I was training to hop and do the more uh well-rounded, more movement, the more strenuous part of the job that I do. And I was burning 900 calories before I got to lunchtime. At the end of the day, I was at 1,800 calories burned. So
That's awesome.
I got to work out in just in a different sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a change whenever you go through any type of change. Like, I think we've talked about it already, guys, but the basic aspect of losing weight is thermodynamics. Is you have to burn in excess calories than what you're consuming. And you can achieve that in multiple ways. When you achieve that through, activity, you can achieve it through a calorie deficit as far as how many calories you actually consume. So however you achieve it, you're getting weight loss benefit, and the primary benefit that you get no matter what you do whenever you start exercise or changing your diet is weight loss. Like, over the long haul, we want to add muscle mass, but at first, we just gotta get you lighter so that your body's healthier, doesn't have as much trauma basically going on. Excuse me, sorry, rain early in the morning. But that's
Mm-hmm.
the that's the thing is any way you create that deficit creates a benefit, because at the end of the day, Rob, and you've made tremendous progress. You still have a lot of weight that you want to lose. And so we understand that that's going to be what is going to give you the primary health benefit. So, at the end of the day, just getting, even if all you did was burn those extra calories doing your hopping at work, that's huge. So, I mean,
And see, the
don't
beautiful
beat
thing,
yourself up. I know you're gonna beat yourself up. Don't do it, man. You're doing
actually,
good.
I'm getting better on that. I'm getting a
Good.
lot better on that.
Mental health is important, sir. I
Most
love it.
definitely. And the beautiful thing about this, so they tried to train me for this last year,
Yeah.
and I was about 450, 460, no, 450, 440 when they were training me to do it. I couldn't even finish out the whole shift doing it because I was pouring sweat, barely moving, hurting all over, out of breath, and mentally weak in the sense that I was trying to figure
Yeah.
out any way to get my trainer to take over for me so I didn't have to continue to exercise or move or exert myself
Yeah.
in that sense.
And
This
I'm sure you
time,
didn't wanna ask though either. You didn't wanna really ask.
oh, I was trying to figure out a way to do it without having to come out 100% fully and say, "Man,
And
I'm
just
tired. Can you do it?"
ask.
I was
Yeah.
like, "Dude, my back is killing me, man. Oh, how much we got going in here? Oh, uh, just complaining." And looking back on it, I'm cringing. I'm cringing about it.
Well, that shows the progress that you've had mentally, man. Like, you lost 100 and what, 5 pounds now?
Mm-hmm.
You said yesterday?
Weighed in at 361, baby.
So there you go. You're 105 pounds down. That's not just like, you can't be the same person big as you are small. Er. in a weight loss journey. You know what I mean? I don't know how to say that.
I just like how your face went.
Small you know what I mean? Like you have to level up and change and develop in some different ways. And for me, like I struggled, I know this is kind of off topic, but I struggled to gain weight right out of college. Like when we were
Mm-hmm.
working out and then right
I
out of
remember
college,
that.
I could not gain weight. And part of it was because I had been playing basketball so long, my body was just blasting through calories. Like it didn't matter. Like and I also didn't have the same nutrition information, so I didn't know how to like use that. But I just couldn't gain weight. I would lift really hard. I was getting stronger. So like I was gaining strength, I was gaining muscle, but I was just not gaining the weight that I wanted to. And I mean, finally it got to a point where now I have excess weight that I need to drop a little bit, but I'm actually more comfortable at my size now. I feel less like a boy. You know what I mean? Like I feel like a man, like I've grown into that. And so but I had to level up mentally in that and be like, hey, I gotta eat and I gotta discipline in certain areas that I didn't want to do. And then now I'm looking back and I'm like, wish I had that problem with trying to trying to eat more now.
Dude, I was looking through, so I'm not gonna lie, I kind of creeped yours and Alicia's Facebook trying to find a picture for the thumbnail, just of
Yeah.
you with a disapproving look. And I
Oh,
was
dude.
going through the pictures and where I literally have not seen you since that Thanksgiving. No, I saw you
Yeah.
briefly at my graduation.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. When I
Briefly,
ran out,
I appreciate that.
I
Uh,
didn't care in the world. I was happy to be there.
hey, that's like me standing up at yours. Wait, wait,
Yeah,
wait,
buddy.
wait.
That's right.
But yeah, I hadn't really seen you since that Thanksgiving I stayed at your house.
Yeah.
And I was going through and I just remember you the size you were in college. And
Hmm.
then from those few pictures you sent me when you were doing the personal training at that gym and you were working on your back,
Yeah.
you sent me those pictures and I was like, holy crap! Jeez, look at those shoulders. My God, my boy. And I'm
Thanks.
not even
I
kidding. I
appreciate
was looking
that.
like, dude. So I'm
I
proud of
appreciate
you with
that.
that.
Thank you. It's not hard, or I mean, I'm sorry, it is hard. It's not easy whenever. I mean, so if anybody's not seen Pumping Iron, go watch it. Arnold talks about how like bodybuilding specifically is very similar to an artist creating a sculpture, but bodybuilders have it a lot harder because they actually have to apply stress and then build muscle, which takes time. And so it's like it does take time and concerted effort, and it's not fun because of the amount of time that it takes sometimes. So it's like if you're trying to get your chest bigger, which is every guy is trying to get their chest bigger. You're trying to do that, like list 5 exercises that you can do chest. You're going to do all 5 of those, and then it's just like, okay, well, what else can I do? It's like, well, you can't do anything more. You have to take time. It's take time and rest and food and be disciplined. So
But
it's definitely a challenge. So thank you. I appreciate that.
you're very
I have a
welcome.
lot of progress left to get. Not where I want
Same,
to be yet.
same, brother. But
Exactly.
I do want to share this. So there's a reason I'm wearing a button down today.
Okay.
So
Let's see it.
I got this shirt, I think back in 2020, and when
Okay.
I got it, I could not button it.
Oh wow.
The only time I wore this shirt, other than the other day when I went over to Wes's house, because the first time that I put it on, and it,
You
the
wanted to
only
show him
time,
what you're looking like.
oh yeah, the only time I've ever worn this shirt out in public besides that time was wide open on the beach just so I could have a shirt on. And that was
Yeah.
about all I could do. So,
Woo! Look at you, man. Dang.
and then with the shorts,
Okay. Man.
so I have literally, literally been putting in work. None of my clothes fit at work. So I'm an armed security guard. So I gotta wear I keep my gun on my hip. Uh Before, I hated wearing the belt because with driving the truck, the buckle
Everything
would
would,
push in on my stomach because I'm sitting in
yeah,
there and it gets sores and stuff. Not really sores, but it gets sore. So I just clipped my holster to the what is it? The lip of my pants.
yeah,
And I could just walk around with it because my pants were that tight.
yeah.
I have to wear
Now
a
we can't.
belt with nothing in my pockets or nothing on my pants, dude. They will be around my ankles as I'm walking.
Please wear pants.
Oh no, buddy, you know you won't see all good. Let me stop.
uh, well, good. Well, good, sir. So it sounds like you had a relatively decent week as far as you're still able to do things, but you weren't able to work out as much, but you still did a lot.
This is true.
So it's a victorious week. I love
Most
it, man.
definitely.
Show us what you got there. You were telling me about it yesterday.
So my aunt, she makes these sensory bottles. And with this one, uh, so it's got charms in it. And for some reason with my ADHD, just the feeling of the charms hitting the glass going back and forth, it's so amazing.
Well, good,
But
man.
but the
Keep you
charms,
focused.
most definitely. The charms that she has in mind, it's got a 25-pound plate, a dumbbell, some kettlebells, one that says inspire, because she says that I'm an inspiration. Um,
Attaboy.
one that says you versus you, one that says me versus me, and then one that she puts in everyone that says made with love. I have literally not been able to stop doing this every time I've been in my room since I picked this up yesterday.
Well, if anybody wants one, let Big Rob know.
Most definitely.
He'll hook you up, man. Well, good, dude. So it sounds like you had just a pretty good week.
Most definitely,
Is there,
especially with this haircut too.
yeah, you're looking good, man.
Shout out
I
Mick.
my boy Cameron. I'm gonna answer your question, Cameron, here shortly. Um, and he's my barber, and I gotta get a haircut next week because it's bad. Hence the hat. So that's my deal. So let's get into some questions, man.
Alrighty, brother.
I have a few questions for you before we get into our topic. So, guys, we're going to talk about nutrition and a few different things that means. So, recommendations as far as diets that I like, that I encourage, and why, and then maybe some real basic breakdown on how you would build a diet, even if you don't want to listen to exactly what we say. If you can take some of the principles and apply them to yourself, you'll definitely have changes in results. So, but for you, Big Rob, the first question I have is, so you forget your lunchbox in the mornings. So what
Yes.
is it? What's something that you can do to start remembering to bring your lunch? Because when we talked about last week, you know that it's going to take a different level of dedication and discipline for the next 100 and some pounds than it took for your first ones. So, and we know that one of those big things that you have to develop on is the discipline as far as your food and eating consistently and eating good food consistently. What do you think is something that you can do as somebody who has a busy schedule that can help you remember that?
Mostly, one big thing would be placement of my lunchbox in my car because as soon as I get off work, I throw my vest and my lunchbox in the back seat, and then that hour drive home, I'm not thinking about the lunchbox in the back seat. So starting to put that in the front. Um, when I do remember to bring it in the house and I get everything set, hanging it on the doorknob of the front door so I'll remember to pack it before I leave. Um, maybe get you to ask because I mean we talk every day on the way home from
Yeah, we
work.
do.
So,
We talk every day.
bruh, do you
Guys,
got your
we're trying
lunchbox?
to get good content for you guys. All
Oh yeah,
right.
those are
We
the,
talk.
those are the brainstorming sessions.
That's right. I can ask you, man. I think it's just add that accountability, basically,
Most
is what you
definitely,
think.
most definitely.
Okay. Because I mean, I get it. Trust me, like it's not always easy to remember to bring your lunch, especially in the fact that when you're a kid and you bring your lunch, it's because your mom packed your lunch for you. Now, you got to do it.
Yeah, my mommy don't pack my lunch no more.
Yeah. So it's like we got to do those things. I mean, I struggle every once in a while where I'll forget to bring my lunch. So like I put it the way that I do it is I put it on my like little counter
Mhm.
that I pass every time when I leave. So like I'll see it. So like if I choose not to, it's a choice. It's not a forget. Like if I see it and I don't pack it, then it's like I chose to do that, and then I can be upset with myself. Excuse me.
Them
So
rains is just talking to both of us this morning.
it's not good, man. I love rain though, and mostly because again, I like carbonation, but I don't drink sodas. So
Amen. You're proud of
so
me on that too, because I have literally not had a soda. I slipped up last week. I had a soda just because I got tired of water and I didn't want to have
mhm.
another 900 calories in my day of caffeine. Not calories.
Milligrams.
Yeah, there we go. Brain no
You're
worky.
close.
Brain no worky. But yeah, I had one or two sodas last week, but other than that, I've come a long way from drinking a 2 liter per meal. Yeah.
Yeah, you have come a long way. You should be proud of
Yeah.
that. Well, good deal, man. Yeah, so I'll ask you. I'll talk to you about bringing your lunch because it's again, that's going to be one of the big keys. So whenever Stan Efferding talks about diet, he's the author of the Vertical Diet. People who bring their lunch, pack their lunch, and meal prep specifically are just far, far, far more likely to actually stick to the diet. And that bears out, that plays out. Like if you have to think about it, you're like, never mind. But if you already have it prepped and you just grab it and go, you're far more likely to do so because you don't have to think about trying to cook or think about what you're going to get. You just know what you're going to eat and you just get it. So that's a huge thing. So I'll do that. And then the other thing is we got to get your quality of food up. And we talked about that briefly yesterday. So it's like you don't eat a whole lot of food now as far as your meals go. Um, but typically, what is it that you eat? Like in a standard day, you've not meal prepped, you've not planned. What is the most likely thing that you're going to end up eating?
If I'm at work, I'm either not gonna eat during the shift, depending on which route I'm on, because
Hmm.
that route's gonna be extremely long, and I don't want to prolong it in any way. But if I'm on the route that I've been on, it'll probably be running into the gas station Sheets and grabbing, which has got a full restaurant in it too, but grabbing something from there, something small, or grabbing one of the chicken salad wraps that they have that
Hmm.
pre-prepared, or I'll go up to the thing and get maybe a sandwich from the restaurant or just something quick that I can scarf down while being slung around in the back of a truck going 70 down the highway.
Yeah.
Or if I bring my lunch, then actually got them right here. PB&J's.
All right.
It's just quick. It riding in the back of the truck. It's hard to bring like leftovers or something like that because
Yeah.
I don't want something getting slung all over me because we hit a giant
Yeah,
pothole.
no, I understand that. I understand that. Well, so real quick, you like burgers.
Mhm.
Burgers are easy to eat.
Amen.
Like burger, grill at home, ground meat, cheese, make or ground beef, make it into a patty, slap some cheese on it, put it in a container with some bread. There you go.
Mhm.
It's easy, it's handheld, it's simple, and you're gonna get more nutrition out of that versus the chicken salad gas station wrap.
But
It, it's
I know.
it's well, no, and it's the thing is people are like, oh well, I can't do it because of the amount of time. And I'm like, all right, so here's a question: do you cook at home as it is? Well, yeah, okay. Then just cook a little extra, put it in a glass container, and bring it tomorrow. That's literally all it takes.
I was talking with my
Hmm.
buddy Matt Sossman last night. We went out and grabbed some food after the haircut, and he was bringing up like people saying that they don't have time to work out or there's not enough time in the day for them to hang out with people. People will make a priority for something. It's what your
Yeah.
priority lies on it. So he
Yeah.
brought up a good point, and I just wanted to share that. So somebody said, "No, I just don't have time to work out. I work a long day. I do this, I do that." And he said, "All right, well, if Publishers Clearinghouse shows up, said if I said you go work out, Publishers Clearinghouse will show up there with the $2 million check for you. Would you be there?" "Yeah, probably." "And what's the difference of you not being there without the check?"
Yeah.
Sorry, I just wanted to throw that away.
No, I mean, that's 100% true. Like, I mean, what is the first commandment, the 10 commandments? Thou shalt not have any other gods before me. And if you apply that to your everyday life, the God you serve is what you choose to do with your time. So you're not serving the God of being healthy and taking care of yourself. You're watching Netflix. And I'm not sitting here trying to bet. I like Netflix just as much as everybody else. You still got to make, but it's the investment of time that you got to take to actually like be healthy so that 5, 10 years from now, you're not a couch potato. Like you have to be able to do those things. And it's, yeah, it takes work, but everything takes work.
Most
Everything takes
definitely.
work 100% of the time. Cool. So let's get into some questions. You have a few questions that you wanted specifically answered, and then I
Mm-hmm.
have a few questions that I'll just kind of spit at you and see what you know about them, and then we'll just kind of talk about it, my friend.
Sounds good, brother. So I got a few, but my main one I'm gonna save a little later till the end.
Yeah.
Um, so a few questions I asked a few people just
Okay.
randomly, if they had any questions on nutrition, and one of them, sorry, I was looking through and that was funny. One of them, do I need to eat breakfast? Do you need to eat
Yes.
breakfast during the
Yes.
day?
Yes. You do need to eat breakfast. You gotta eat breakfast. So people who don't eat breakfast, they somehow marketed that as intermittent fasting. And intermittent fasting is just a way to lose. It's a way to limit calories because you shorten your feeding window. So fasting is essentially when you just aren't eating, right? So you're in a fasted state at night. That's why it's called breakfast. Is break fast. So you're breaking the fast that you had previously. So yes, you need to have that. You need to initiate your metabolism, kind of give yourself a wake up call, give yourself energy for the day. If you're going to have like a long active day like you're somebody I would have eat a little bit more carbohydrates at breakfast and then probably cut out, almost eliminate throughout the rest of the day because you're doing a lot of activity through the day. So you want to fuel that. But yeah, you got to eat breakfast, and most of the time it's because people overeat, but they overeat with poor quality, right? So hyper processed foods such as like oatmeal cream pies, Twinkies, and things, all the fun stuff, those are so processed and they're literally designed by chemical engineers to hack the brain's satiety hormones. So like your brain won't know that you're full when you're eating these. So that's why it's very easy to eat 3 and 4 at a time because your brain doesn't feel full from that because there's no nutrition in it. There's no nutrition in quality at all. It's just pure sugar and carbohydrates.
Let me
Pure
stop.
sugar, carbohydrates, and fat from seed oils. Yeah. So it's like you can overeat those, but you're not getting nutrition. So, like, if you have breakfast and you're eating eggs and bacon and sausage, and orange juice, like it's hard to overeat those things. Like, even for people like with big appetites, like you and I, we have big appetites, but it's still hard to overeat those things because at a certain point, your body gets full and your brain gets full. And you're like, oh, wow, I don't want to eat more. And so when you do that, you're giving yourself the proper nutrition for your body for the rest of the day. Now, if somebody is like, I can't because I work at 4:30 in the morning and I have to wake up at 3 and all of this. Like, all right. That's when you have the benefit of the day and age that we live in. Get a protein shake. At the end of the day, have something to give yourself.
Speaking of that, protein, that brings me into another question. Uh, where did it go? How much protein should I eat?
It depends on what your goal is with your nutrition. Okay. So the general advice is 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight that you want to kind of get to. So, like for me, I weigh about 230 ish right now. If I'm trying to build muscle, maintain energy, anything like that, honestly, for anything, I need to eat 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And that's going to give me the best overall health results too. Because when you eat high amounts of protein, sorry, please cut that part out because that was bad, and my wife will make fun of me for that one.
Oh no, I'm leaving that in, brother. I'm leaving
Yeah,
them all in.
yeah, no. So, how much protein you should eat is based off of what you're trying to do. 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. And the reason why is because you're going to be more full, so you're not going to actually want to eat in excess any of the other things. Because if you eat 200 grams of protein, you're not going to want to eat a boatload of carbs and fat too. So that's typically a good measurement for somebody kind of like yourself who is bigger, who has a increased appetite traditionally. Right now you don't, but traditionally you have a big appetite. You would still want to stick to about 1 gram of protein per pound that you want to get to. So you and I have talked about your weight goal, and I'll let you share that if you want.
Between 220 and 250. I want to
I
go to
like that.
250. You want me down to
Nah,
220.
we got to get you down lower, and I'll say why in a second. But so you would take 220, and then you would eat 220 grams of protein a day. You're not going to have the appetite for significantly more food other than that if you really dedicated to that. The part of the reason why we want to get you lower than 250 is because Rob, you're 5'7", first off, and your frame shouldn't have that much weight on it.
Just throw my hobbit hide out there.
You're not a hobbit. You're just not tall. Like, just saying. But like, so why do you want to wait? Why? So weight is arbitrary, but why'd you pick 250?
250 because I have not weighed that. It was an attainable goal. Well, I mean, all of the goals are attainable, but that was 210 pounds down from what I started at.
Yeah.
And it was a goal. It was a good solid number. I'm the type of person, I have a wide frame naturally. I've always had wide shoulders even
Well,
as a kid. But
well, that's I mean, that's true, but Rob, also, when's the last time you weighed 250?
I really don't want to share that information.
Okay, that's
Middle
fine. You don't
school.
have to. Okay, so middle
Middle school.
school. So it's like with that being said, Rob, you're a fully grown adult male now. You're gonna be different framed, and you don't know what you look like less than that. You've had a wide frame because you've been 250 since middle school. So you don't know what you're gonna look like less than that. Like that, but I find that personally, as somebody who deals with training and strength and all these things, I think that's exciting because it's like, I don't know, let's find out. Like, did you pick 250 out of like a fear? Like it's attainable, but like I'm afraid of what I'll look like less or
So originally I just wanted to get below 300. My goal was
yeah.
299, but then I dropped it down to 250. I wanted to be between 250 and 299 because one, my fear was that any lower, I have some friends that have lost a lot of weight, and when
Hmm.
they went from where they were to the extreme low from where
Yeah.
yeah, they're they were just too skinny for what their shell up under was. Can't think of words this morning. They were just they lost more weight than they should have, and they just looked kind of off.
Well,
It sounds weird.
is it they lost more weight than they should have, or it was just you'd never seen him that size?
It just didn't look good, if I'm
Yeah.
being honest.
No, I understand that. But I mean, so here's here's the thing is you can manipulate what you look like either direction. You can lose more or you can gain more. And if you get down, because I have a personal goal for you, I'm not going to share until you give me the okay that that's the goal. But when you reach that, the reason why is because it makes it easier in your body to then choose how you gain, right? So, health wise, it doesn't matter what the argument is. I'm sorry, anybody that's listening to this probably doesn't agree with the, healthy at all sizes argument thing. I'm sorry, Lizzo's not healthy at all, and there's no argument to be made that she is. Like I don't she might be healthy for her size comparatively. That doesn't mean she's healthy. So anybody who wants to have that argument, please hit me up. But but that being said, it's okay to have it, and it's better to have significantly more muscle mass. Always. That's not a conversation. That's always a fact, and it doesn't matter. Now, yes, bodybuilders, powerlifters, strongmen are living on the extreme side of that. So that ends up going into the nature of probably not super healthy for them either, but they're at the far extreme of gaining muscle, where the average person's never going to get to that. Like people used to say, Arnold, we don't want to look like you. He said, don't worry, you never will. People aren't willing to put the work in. You know what I mean? It's just so frustrating. So, but so when you talk about this though, you can gain muscle. But here's the thing. So one of the major things that makes it hard to gain muscle or lose fat is your hormones. Men and women traditionally are the ones that talk about their hormones being out of whack. Men get hormones out of whack too. So fat deposits are highly estrogenic.
Mm-hmm.
Estrogen causes you to store more body fat. Biologically, it deals with a lot of factors of reproduction. So human beings are legacy animals, and reproduction is the goal of human beings. Period. End of sentence.
Yeah, that low T, man.
So estrogen, yeah, low T is terrible
That is
especially for men
bum
and women.
biscuit.
But so here's the thing. Predominantly human beings want to reproduce. We want to have kids. So women's bodies being the pregnant, because only women can get pregnant.
Amen.
Thank you. When you have this, they have to store more body fat because they have to be able to survive with less food so that they can produce milk for their child. So estrogen is going to be highly fat storing leaning. Testosterone is going to be far more of the anabolic and strength and virility and motivation things in the body. Testosterone has a huge impact on the brain in motivation. Like if you ever see somebody who just doesn't want to do anything, chances are their testosterone is out of balance. Like if they just have no motivation whatsoever, that's probably what it is. They are at least playing a factor, right? So when you cut yourself down and you lose enough body weight where you're not carrying such excess amounts, your body's naturally got a better balance of testosterone to estrogen to progesterone and all these things. Your body's naturally going to be able to build muscle easier. Not only that, insulin. So type 2 diabetes is the one that you have complete control over.
Yeah.
Type 1 diabetes is the one that people are born with. Can't fix that. Insulin, the best way for you to think about its operation is it's going to carry nutrients into the muscle tissue. Simple way to understand what it does. Well, when you're constantly introducing carbohydrates and sugar, you have such a heightened amount of insulin because it's trying to shuttle the sugar where it needs to go. Your body gets desensitized to that. You have too much in your body, it's not going to respond the way it needs to. And then you're just going to keep that sugar. It's going to stay in your bloodstream. It's going to get turned into a fat cell. Fat cells grow. They don't die. They grow. They get bigger and they burst. And that's where you get a lot of inflammation. So whenever
Yeah, I wish
somebody's
them
always in
bastards would
pain,
die.
yeah, right. They're resilient. They suck. But that being the case, if you lose more body fat, you increase your insulin sensitivity, which is going to be a bigger key marker for health and heart health than a lot of things like cholesterol. Like this is where I can talk about Cameron's cholesterol question. So Cameron Donnelly, I love you, brother. I'll see you here in about 20 minutes or so. But Cameron, so you asked a great question on that last video that we had with Christina. So the question was, does eating a purely or leaning towards carnivore-based diet where ground beef and steak and things like that are the primary diet choices, is that going to raise your cholesterol? The answer is most likely yes. The problem, though, is that we have a bad idea about what cholesterol is in the body. So, Big Rob, do you know what cholesterol is?
I do not off the top of my head, but I do know when my grandfather passed away, my dad ate an entire, if y'all know what with the big box from Bojangles is. My dad got a turkey platter and dumped all those picnic side fixings and the entire bucket of chicken on there and ate it in one sitting, and his cholesterol shot through the roof.
Yeah, that's from the seed oils that fried stuff is from. That's not just from normal cholesterol.
Also, love you, Daddy. Sorry for sharing that on the internet.
Ain't no shame. But so cholesterol, guys, has been vilified. So back in the 1950s, Ansel Keys is the guy. He was a marine biologist, ended up getting his degree back in human biology. And I don't know what motivated him to do this, but he ended up vilifying cholesterol and saturated fats from animal foods. So he did a study, and I think it's called like the 7 countries study. And basically, he tried to compare heart disease specifically to the amount of dietary cholesterol people were having. But what he did was he omitted countries that had higher meat and no heart disease to advocate for having less meat from these places. So he made a very compelling argument that was just on faulty research and omitting certain research. Ultimately, our understanding of cholesterol has improved, but the basic thing that you got to understand is cholesterol is very protective in the body, actually. It's actually the steroid backbone for all hormones. So if you don't have high enough cholesterol, your body can't produce testosterone. Your body can't have enough estrogen. Estrogen is very important in the male body too, right? For a lot of different things. So people get this bad rap on cholesterol. LDL is the one that specifically gets the bad rap. Well, LDL is highly beneficial for your immune system. If you have chronically suppressed LDL because you take statin drugs, you're going to be sick more often.
What's a statin drug?
A statin is a drug specifically designed to lower cholesterol.
Gotcha.
If you go to a doctor right now, if you went to a cardiologist, you had high cholesterol, I would be very, very, very confident in betting they would try to put you on statin drug today. Pharmaceutical companies are $1 billion in industry. They want people to take this stuff, right? So then, not only that, Ansel Keys, he vilified animal fats. So he vilified, the saturated fat that you get from like steak and ribeye. Like I love ribeye. Ribeye is my favorite cut. I'm gonna have my ask the other day to my beautiful wife. My birthday's in October. Turned 30. She's gonna plan a party. She said, I told her I want a 36-ounce tomahawk steak. I want a 36-ounce tomahawk ribeye steak. That's what I'm gonna have. So I'm pumped about that. But I love that fat is so beneficial. So it's going to be so helpful for so many things. One, it's going to be satiating. You're going to get full from that. You're going to get immune system benefits. You're going to get micronutrients that you wouldn't get from any other product. So you're getting so much more benefit from that where you can't get those from vegetable oils, right? And vegetable oils were used and propagated to make things shelf stable, right? So if you had a steak sitting on the shelf, it's bad after a few hours, right? Whatever it is. But if you put Oreos and you hyper process it with seed oils, you could leave a pack of Oreos out there for 6 years. I mean, you could buy a pack. I might buy a pack of Oreos and just see what the expiration date is. It's like 3 years from now. That's a shelf stable product if I ever seen one. You can, man, you can leave that on your shelf. You sell that forever.
Mm-hmm.
So that is something that gets propagated. And then you get, the conversation of butter versus margarine and all this crap. The bottom line is we created a false villain to cholesterol where that's not going to be the best marker of health. A better indicator of health is going to be your LDL, HDL compared to a few other things, but one of the major other things is going to be your insulin sensitivity. So if you're significantly overweight as somebody, you're probably going to be insulin resistant, which means you need to find a way to increase your sensitivity. The best way to do that is at first eliminate a lot of carbohydrates from your diet. This kind of leads into another thing is how do you structure a diet like to change?
I was
So
actually
like
going
when
to
you
ask that.
okay, so what did you start doing when you just wanted to start eating a little healthier? Like what's the first thing that you started doing?
I cut out sodas. I cut out
That's
all
perfect.
sugary drinks because that is where I got most of my that's majority of where all my bad shit came from. Sorry for my language, but as I said, I could sit down at a meal and drink a 2 liter of Mountain Dew, and then yeah,
It's a lot of sugar. Yeah, that's great. So the next thing, so like if you had to guess, like hit me, what do you think is the next thing that you would do?
next thing I did was I stopped eating so much freaking fast food, or at least I
Gotcha.
cut down on the amount that I got because,
Yeah.
as I said, I could go to Burger King and get a triple Whopper meal with the large onion ring, a second large onion ring, and then just throw down and still be hungry.
Yeah. Yeah. So ultimately what it comes down to is cutting out as much processed foods
Mm-hmm.
because those highly processed foods are easy to overeat and then they're also not filling. So that's really the first thing. The first thing that you do when you try to build a better diet is you want to look at what you currently eat and cut out the obvious crap, right? That's the simplest thing to do because the optimal human diet is eating lots of meat. Anybody wants to hop on and disagree, please do.
You
Like
sound like you're looking for a fight,
I'm
brother.
looking for a fight, man. I'm looking for a conversation. No, the optimal human diet is meat, and it's based around eating meat. I don't like organs, but eating meat and organs is the most ideal human diet, and it's because the nutrition quality and quantity of micronutrients that you get from these things is unparalleled. You can't get it from any amount of vegetables, right? That being said, if you go from eating McDonald's every day to eating vegetables and being a vegan, you're gonna have significantly better health outcomes because you're eliminating the garbage, but not because of the increase in quality. So that's not the argument. The argument is getting rid of the garbage versus you've increased the quality marginally.
Yeah.
Now you're trying to be optimal. You want to eat more meat. It's just simple as that. Period. That's it.
I feel you.
Nutrition conversation over.
Goodbye.
I'm just kidding.
I'm kidding.
But like seriously, that's automatically going to be a better diet. You feel better. Anybody's like, "Oh, I can't eat that much." Start out eating what you can. Slowly increase it. I had one Cameron again. He talked to him. He's like, "Man, I was full at first." And I was like, "Oh, that's fun," because I had him eating 2 pounds of ground beef a day. He's like, "Man, at first I couldn't do it." And I was like, "All right, well, eat what? How much can you eat?" And he's like, "I could eat probably like 10 ounces." All right, add 1 more ounce to that. Twice a day, add 1 more ounce to what you're eating. It's maybe one more spoonful. You've been able to add that. It's super, super simple, guys. It's just you got to think about it.
See, I don't like thinking. We've established this. My brain is a scary thing.
You have
Not
to
even.
think, Rob.
Okay, I needed a little bit of a chuckle. But thank you. There we go. Hallelujah. We hit it. All
Come
right.
on, man.
So I'm gonna throw in a question that affects. create a new word. Affects you and I both, because this is something that you and I really both struggle with a lot. How much caffeine a day is safe? Because
Dude, you had to
I,
throw me under the bus too, brother.
Lord, I'm gonna
Nah,
throw
it's
this.
well deserved.
I'm gonna throw this out here just so you can get a basis of how much I take in a day. So we're gonna go with the extreme. I take in anywhere from I take in 1,000 milligrams of caffeine a day.
That's bad. That's not
That
good.
now that's on the day that I
Golly, brother.
usually it's around 600 milligrams of caffeine a day, but
That
on the
should be a cap.
extreme days, it can get up to 1,000 when I'm really dragging. It's
Nah,
2 rains, a Zoa, and then a cup of coffee.
you gotta cap that. You gotta cap that. So I think the RDA, the recommended daily allowance, is something like 400.
Mm-hmm.
You can go up to like I think 600 should be a cap. Like 2 rains you shouldn't do more than that. So 600 milligrams of caffeine should be a cap. Now I have been guilty of going over that too in certain times, but if I do it, it's like a cup of black coffee, like a small cup of black coffee over
Not the
that.
venti from Starbucks.
Not a venti. Um, so I would go between 4 to 600 because I mean, think about this too. If you're drinking pre-workout that's caffeinated, which
Right?
most people do,
Yeah.
you have the yeah buddy stuff, right?
425 milligrams a scoop.
Right. So you shouldn't be drinking any other caffeine because then that's not going to do anything.
Exactly.
Caffeine, as much as we want to try to talk, it's a drug and it's a stimulus. It stimulates your adrenals. It's a constant drip. It increases the stress hormone cortisol. It's a tool to be used, but bro, 600 should be a cap. Any more than that, you're creating a desensitized level to it, and it ain't gonna do anything. And then you're just gonna get your heart rate. Like I was at a point, I was working a job, I was drinking a gram to 1200 milligram, and it was miserable, man. My heart just like beating out of my chest, and I didn't feel any better.
The thing
So,
is, my heart rate stays constantly calm with it because I've
well,
tracked it, and it's like
yeah.
I
Well, you
think I've
also got to think. So it's also dependent on somebody's size. So like, if you're tall or short or heavier or lighter, it's gonna affect you differently. You better cut that caffeine back, dude. That's bad, man.
and I take it. Well, no, I'm not gonna throw that out there. I don't want people. Yeah, but yeah,
Use your nutrition, man. So it's like Paul Saladino. Now, Paul Saladino, again, I highly respect him. I would love it if I could meet this guy, go on his podcast. If he could come on our podcast, I'd freak out. Guys, let's make it happen. Get Paul Saladino, Carnivore MD, on the pod. This cat, this dude's extreme in a lot of ways, though. He doesn't drink caffeine. He wears cotton shorts only. Like he doesn't. Like he's extreme with a lot of things. Highly respect why, because he expresses it. I just don't want to live that way. But one of the things he's like, use your food as your energy source. So like, I've I don't do this because I think it's kind of weird to me. Like, do you put syrup on bacon?
no,
Have you ever done that?
I'm not a sweets guy.
You're not a sweets guy. I'm a sweets guy. But okay, so like people put syrup on bacon and like eggs sometimes. And like that's just weird. You
I've
like
tried
need to
it, but I
be
don't do it a lot.
not a fan. Anyway, he puts like butter and honey on like a burger that he makes.
Mm.
And I'm like, I've not tried it, but there was a podcast that he was on, and I can't remember it. But the guy was like, "This is like an energy drink. Like I just feel all the healthier sugars and fats. I feel more energetic compared to when I drink coffee." So it's like use your food. Oh, bumped my iPad. Use your food and as that energy source, and it's going to be better because it's sustained anyway.
Okay.
Bro, a gram of caffeine. I was there and it was terrible. So like I'm surprised your heart doesn't like beat out of your chest.
Dude, I've literally built up such a tolerance to it that it rarely really affects me.
But that's the bad thing of it.
I
You want
know
it.
I am a huge caffeine addict.
Start cutting back a little bit. Like, just like we talk about, this whole podcast started from doing something in the right direction. Don't have that third reign.
Hey, I switched from Monsters.
That's better, but still cut
Hey,
that
I
third
took my
reign.
step in the right direction. I don't
Take
drink three
another.
rings. I don't take no. I
A
drink
single step does not a walk make.
but it starts it.
It does.
No, I don't. That's one thing I will not do. I don't drink three rings in a day. I've drank two, and then one low caffeinated, like a Zoa, which is like 160, or I'll get a large coffee or something. Because when I was back in 2021, when I hurt my back and I had my big check.
Mm-hmm.
I and I said I was doing a lot of drinking and I was doing a lot of stupid stuff. But I caught myself, I would, before my tolerance really built up, I would take my Ritalin, which I have ADHD. So I'd take my Ritalin, which is a stimulant, and I'd chug a rain while I was taking it, like
I
taking in the
remember you
full
telling me
thing.
that. Yeah.
I did that in the morning and I was fine. I had a good buzz. But by about 1 or 2 o'clock, I did the same thing. I took my second dose of my Ritalin and chugged another rain, and I'm sitting there outside, and I can literally see my heart beating through my shirt.
That's
So
awful.
after that, I decided, yeah, I can't do this period anymore. Nothing
Yeah.
to this extent. So
Well, at least you made that change.
oh yeah. So I'll wake up in the morning on my way to work at 5 something. I will drink my Rain energy drink. I won't have another one until like 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And then
Yeah.
if I'm just bogged down from just running, going, getting in and out of the truck and just completely drained, I'll get a Zoa or I'll get a Lonnie New.
Yeah, those are good.
And those
Like
are
the
like,
cosmic one. Cosmic
yes,
Stardust. That's a good
yes.
one.
And then that berry one. Ooh,
Oh yeah, the berry slush, the blue one.
yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that one's solid too. I
That
like
one's
that
my
one too.
favorite. But they're like 200 calories. Why do I keep on wanting to say calories? They're
When you're
200
talking about food.
milligrams. 200
This is
milligrams.
we're gonna have a second nutrition conversation, guys, because I got long-winded and I apologize.
No, you're
Um,
fine. It was good conversation, brother.
yeah, but we're gonna have to keep talking about more nutrition later. But yeah, you're talking about calories and nutrition and then milligrams.
But yeah, it's the Zoas are like 160
Yeah.
milligrams, and then the Alani News are 200. So it's something.
Well, do you think you would? I mean, you don't eat lunch most of the time. Most of the time, not all the time, but most of the
Yes,
time, you're not eating lunch. Don't you think you would get more energy from your food then if you ate?
possibly,
The
possibly.
answer is the answer is a more likely than not.
I know, but I like saying possibly because I don't
That's
like
fair.
sounding wrong.
But now, if you eat food that's nutritionally beneficial, you're going to get more energy than just caffeinating it because all that's doing is tricking yourself. You're not actually getting any energy. Calories are literally a unit of energy. So it's like if you're not eating any calories, you don't have any energy. But guys, you got to eat consistently. The basic principles are going to be eliminate processed foods, eat more meat. A really good measurement is going to be 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight you want to be. If you're actually trying to gain muscle, guys, so like for any of the younger guys or guys who are relatively decent shape already, you're like, hey, I want to build muscle and gain mass. Like I want to get bigger. You actually need to cut it back a little bit because you need to eat more food in general. So you actually a good recommendation is about 0.8 grams. So take 0.8 times your body weight. Do that math, and then do 1.25 or 1.5 carbohydrates per pound, and that's going to give you a good caloric increase because you need to increase your calories to gain mass, but you don't want to do it in an excessive amount. And then we can get into like the actual like choice of carbohydrates. I told you yesterday for like your dad. one, you got to know what you're eating, because if you don't know, you can't really say you're eating an increase. So just like if you're trying to lose weight, if you don't know what you're eating now, you can't cut calories out. But that being said, track your calories, know what you're eating, get your protein in. The reason you want to actually eat a little bit less protein is because that's going to not be detrimental to your health to eat just a hair less, but it's also not going to be as filling. So you'll be able to increase your calories in the form of carbohydrates. Typically the best tolerated one would be white rice. White rice is a very, very low FODMAP food. Like, you're not going to have issues with digesting it, and you're not going to typically have issues digesting it in larger quantities. So that's how you can increase your carbohydrates. But guys, eat red meat. Hit us up with a question if you have any. But red meat is the best. Then you have your fish. Then you can have chicken. It's not. Hot dogs are not a food group.
That's debatable, sir.
Is it?
How I ate them,
That's
they
fair.
were a food group.
Yeah, you ate a food group. It's like, what's your favorite food group? Hot dogs.
Hot dogs.
What?
Sheets hot dogs, 2-for-1, fully loaded, 9 at a time. Keep on rolling.
That's a lot.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
Dude, I told you I did 30 in 15 minutes.
That's too many.
I do not recommend that. I wanted to die.
Yeah,
but
that's a lot.
But Garrett, my friend.
Yes, sir.
What time do you have training today?
Here, like now.
All right, gotcha. So
put some socks on. Put some socks on. Go kick some booty.
Please, we don't want stinky feet. But
I don't like boy feet. Feet are gross.
Amen. Amen. I'm not a foot guy. All right. No sidetrack. So everybody, we want to thank y'all for joining today. I am Big Rob. This is Garrett Zollinger, my brother for the past 10 years. Thank y'all for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment anything. If you like my haircut, comment. If you like Garrett's hat, comment. If you just think that we're really pretty and you want to just let us know this. Let us know this. I know
if you
I'm
want
not,
to disagree, if you want to disagree with anything that we said, please
just
tell
put
us
something in the comments.
Ask us why, disagree with us. We'll talk about it. And, we need to have that conversation anyway.
Most definitely. But right now we're on YouTube. As you're watching this now, later today we'll be on Spotify. It will be caught up on Spotify. I will try and figure out Apple Podcasts because it was really hard to do on my phone while I was at work. So I'll get on that today. But I want to thank y'all. Keep subscribing, doing everything that y'all are doing. Thank you for the support and the love. I want to leave y'all with this. Remember to embrace the suck because it always freaking sucks. Keep pushing because you got to keep pushing so you don't stay consistent. And don't accept your own excuses because your mind is your biggest enemy, but it's also your biggest tool and your biggest friend if you allow it to be.
Amen.
So we thank y'all. Join us next week. Have a great week. Have a great workout. I'll ask this every day. Did you get your workout in today? Love you guys. Bye.
Peace out.